What's up guys, it's Coaster Thrills here, and for today's video I'll be doing my full in-depth review on Mystery Mine, a Gerstlauer Eurofighter that opened at Dollywood in 2007. It is definitely a very unique ride with all the theming that is absolutely fantastic. Dollywood always does a great job of theming the rides, and this is no exception. You have those huge buildings that this coaster is located in, and it is overall a very fun ride experience. I find myself marathoning this coaster almost every visit to Dollywood, as I go there about, once or twice a year. Still, though it is fun, there are a lot of moments that are not the best during this coaster, and that's what I'll be talking about today. But most importantly, before we start, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos on Coasters Often. Also, if you want to see more, make sure to follow our social media pages for updates and much more. But now that that's out of the way, let's look at the stats, as it is of course located at Dollywood. The maximum height is 85 feet tall, which is very solid, especially, for a Eurofighter. The top speed is 43 miles per hour, which is definitely not the fastest. This whole ride really just goes and stops from moment to moment, which can really kill the momentum that this coaster may have at times, such as when the top speed is hit at the bottom of the last drop. So for the inversions, it only has two of those are at the end, which is definitely the best part of the ride. And finally, has a track length of 1,804, which once again is not the best, even though this coaster feels very long in the duration. That leads back to what I said about this coaster. There's no part where you'll be going for a long time. It's filled with mid-course brake runs, mostly in the indoor theming parts, which this coaster is so good at. First off, the soundtrack is so flippin' good. I mean, it can get stuck in your head all day. It is a great one, like one of the best coaster soundtracks out there. And also another cool thing is that there's this talking bird outside of the coaster. He is so weird, but it's also so cool. It's just another really cool, unique thing this coaster has. But the theming overall is just so good. It's almost like half dark ride because of the indoor sections. Spoiler alert, if you have not ridden it, there is that fire effect that is there for a good 2 seconds that you can feel the heat. It is awesome, and overall, this coaster is so detailed in the whole structure and ride experience. They put so much effort into it, but there are some downsides to this coaster. The main one being the transitions. This ride, just due to all of those sudden moments, has a lot of not so good moments. Those include that turn into the first lift hill that before I could brace myself, it smashed my head against the restraint. There is all of those janky transitions that just meander around at the same time. But there is a way, like I said, to brace yourself and get a great ride experience. That is, if you push yourself against the restraint, you absolutely get no headbanging, and the movements from each element will be so much more fun. And that will result in this coaster going from a painful experience to a very fun ride, including great airtime in some spots, such as that little tiny drop in the outdoor section and the other main drop indoors. But what the main strong suit of this coaster is the intensity. It feels like you pull a lot of G's, especially during that end section, mostly due to the quick acceleration this coaster goes through, and you could even say the outdoor section is intense. So let's walk up to this attraction, as you will notice once again all of that theming with the huge structure standing right in front of you. And this coaster can get some long lines, so I recommend you riding this earlier in the day. You will go through the queue and enter the station, and here is where you will find those trains. That they do not have that much of a capacity. They're only 8 riders per train, and they only load one at a time. But the good thing is that they are super fast at dispatching the trains. It only takes them about 40 seconds to load a train and dispatch it, which, helps a lot. Which row I would sit in? I would for sure go for the front row. This coaster only has 2 rows, so that's the obvious choice. But if you get to do multiple times, I would recommend just maybe getting at least one ride in the second row. So as you board, greeting you will be these trains with those restraints that are definitely not the best. They can, if you don't brace yourself, hurt you in areas you don't necessarily want to get hurt, but overall they are fine. And you will leave that station, as they say, keep your boots on, miners, and dip down into that first element that is super fun. A great start to the coaster, as you'll turn around, see some nice theming with bats. you will be turning more into this near miss effect with this like saw or blade thing as you dip down. Again, turn into a turn where you hit that first vertical lift hill with some more theming, such as those gears and like writings on the wall. And that is where you go up it. You'll get to the top, go through some mediocre bunny hops next to into a mid-course brake run, where here is the most sudden and unexpected part of this coaster. That is the very short 85-degree drop that is absolutely insane. It's absolutely so sudden and so crazy. Every single ride, it's probably one of the best single elements on this coaster, to where you go on into a bank turn, into some more twists that can be janky, but are still fun. There's another mid-course brake run with some more twist where you'll dip down into an okay airtime hill. You don't really get any airtime at all, as you'll kind of sidewind into the building where, the second half starts. You stop for a little with, once again, some theming and go up this 85-foot tall vertical lift hill. This is way better than the first one because it is taller, but what's really cool is that there is this screen right above you. It's like this giant structure that just falls under you with some lights flashing. It is super cool. Definitely the best half of the ride for sure, as you will angle down a little bit and stop. Here is where that fantastic effect is, and that is the fire. There's also some dynamite around it to where you release and speed down that 95-degree drop. That since it is indoor and twisted, it is just so fun. And here next is where you hit that grand finale, a double immersion. The first one is like a speed barrel roll that is super quick into that half loop, dive loop, whatever, that gives so much hang time. It is crazy. You are just hanging up there for a good 2 seconds. It is so much fun, to where you'll jerk into the brakes. A proper ending to this coaster that, even though it is so janky, you can enjoy this coaster so much and do what I do, is ride this coaster so many times. For its overall score, it'll get an 8 out of 10, which is very solid, especially for a ride like this. That is the score you want to get. The overall experience is what this coaster does absolutely great at. So, what do you think of Mystery Mine? Make sure to post that in the comments below. I read every comment. Love what you guys have to say. And of course, make sure to subscribe for more videos on coasters often. And see ya.